Hi guys, I'm Alana. Today we're going to do a flow that is based around all of our warrior postures. So it's powerful and it should be full of energy. So grab yourself a mat and let's get started. So we're just going to start by implementing our breath, which will start that energy flow throughout the body, as well as hopefully drawing our focus into this present moment and into our bodies and how we are feeling. So let's get into a comfortable seated position, whether that is cross-legged or you can stack your feet in front of each other like I have. Get yourself comfy and place your palms on your knees, just relaxing your shoulders, and then close down the eyes for just a second. So we are going to implement a equal breath, so 4 seconds on the inhale and 4 seconds on the exhale is our aim. This should create that kind of cycle of energy flowing in and out of the body. So as you inhale, count to 4 and fill your lungs to their capacity. And then as you exhale, counting to 4, you're going to let all the air go, completely releasing. Inhaling and exhaling. So on the inhale we should feel our ribs expanding, creating space for all that air, and deflating on the exhale. So let's carry on with this breath, making it rigorous, making it audible, feeling that energy kind of pumping through your body. So let's count to 4 on our inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more of these. Awesome, so let's try and continue that breath throughout the rest of the practice. Now we're going to just gently warm up our necks, so dropping the chin to the chest. You're just going to start to rotate the head all the way around, dropping it back. Just being really conscious of how it's feeling. If there are any areas that are slightly stiffer, you can sort of just massage them out, really paying attention to our own bodies. And trying to synchronize our movement with that equal breath we just practiced. Inhaling and exhaling. Next time your chin reaches your chest, let's just change direction. Let's do one more round of this. And then we're going to come back to nice neutral spine. We're going to inhale our shoulders up to our ears and exhale them down the back. Inhale them up, exhale them down. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling down. Now we're going to inhale our arms wide, opening up that chest. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the left hand above the right hand and give yourself a big squeeze. From here, you're going to bring the elbows away from the body, twisting the arms around each other and bringing the palms to meet in the middle. We want to draw the elbows away from the body and then sink the shoulders down the spine. And we're in our eagle arms. So you should feel the stretch along the backs of the shoulders here, almost as if you're pulling your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, open up the arms wide, and exhale, changing hands, so right comes above left, giving ourselves a big squeeze. And then coming into our eagle, bringing the palms to meet in the middle, drawing the elbows away, and then sinking the shoulders. Keeping that breath equal. Awesome, let's release those, give your shoulders a shake. We're going to come into our Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop down to the sides. We want to start to open up those feet like a book so that we're really deepening the stretch in our hips here. We're going to take a hold of our toes, wrapping the forefingers around the big toe. Drawing the elbows into the ribs, you're going to inhale and lift your body, and exhale and just gently fold over the feet. Inhale and lengthen, exhale and fold. And then we're going to inhale to come back up. As we come back up, we're going to start to lean our body backwards, and then drawing the feet off the ground, coming into this boat pose. So I'll show you this from the side. We're leaning back, and we're coming into our boat. So once you've got your balance on your sitting bone here, you can let go if you want, and start to bring the core into action. If you're comfortable here, you can start to extend those legs, really drawing the body in. Awesome. So we're going to cross our ankles here. We're going to roll slightly back and then roll forward all the way over the feet, coming into our tabletop position, finding a nice straight back, wrists directly under shoulders and knees directly under hips to create that sort of stable tabletop position. We're just going to send the right leg back here onto the toes, and then we're going to start to draw that heel down, sinking over the foot and really stretching out that calf. Bringing the knee back in, we're going to swap legs, sinking the heel down, stretching into that calf. Bringing the knee back in, we're going to tuck our toes under, plant our hands shoulder width apart on the mat, and then we're going to send our hips high into down dog, but we're going to keep our knees bent. So at first we're just going to work on drawing the chest towards the ground and really opening up the shoulders. It's keeping a generous bend in the knees. You can sink the shoulders down, sending the hips high at the same time. Amazing. So coming back up, we're going to start to pedal through the feet one at a time, like a runner's stretch, stretching out one calf at a time, moving the hips if that feels good for you. Just taking this moment to kind of tune into your body. First down dog is usually quite stiff, but that's okay. Should ease off over the practice. Amazing. So finding your static down dog now, you want your feet hip width apart and your hands shoulder width apart. Sending the hips high into the sky. From here, we're going to inhale and lift the right leg into a three-legged dog. As we exhale, we're going to bring that knee in, round the spine and crunch it into the forehead. Exhale, push it back to the sky, crunching again. And push it back, crunching again. And push that leg back. Amazing. So this time we're going to crunch, but then we're going to try and drop the foot in between the hands at the front, coming into this lunge position. Once you're here, you're going to drop that back knee and making sure this front leg is straight. We're going to sink into that back hip. Inhale the arms up, and then as you exhale, just really sinking into that stretch. Amazing. So placing the hands back down, you're going to step back to a plank, getting nice and strong and straight. Then we're going to drop our knees to the mat and sending the elbows back and sort of drawing them into the ribs. We're pushing the chest into the mat, and then we're going to inhale into our cobra. So we've not got our shoulders up by our ears here. We really want to draw them away from the ears and push the chest open. We're going to exhale over our knees, sending the hips up, coming into our down dog. Anytime you come into down dog, you can pedal through the feet if that feels good for you. So coming onto the other side, we're going to inhale and lift the left leg to the sky. And we're going to exhale and crunch it in, really rounding the spine. Push back, crunch, push back. One more crunch. push it back, and then you know what to do here. We're going to crunch in, and then we're going to drop the foot in between the hands, coming into our lunge. Drop the back knee, making sure the front leg is straight. We're going to inhale and exhale to sink into the stretch. Dropping the hands to either side of the foot. We're going to step back to a plank, and then we're going to drop the knees and the chest and the chin to the mat. Inhaling into our cobra, drawing the shoulders away, and then exhaling over the knees, sending the hips high, coming into down dog. Awesome. So from here, we're just going to gently walk the feet to meet the hands at the front of the mat, keeping a generous bend in those knees and hip width distance between the feet. We want to let our bodies kind of just hang loose over the legs and holding no tension in the neck. Let it be floppy. You can hold either elbow with opposite hand and really just sort of work into that loosening, releasing of any tension. You can swing side to side. Okay, now we're going to start to roll up the spine, letting the head come up last, coming all the way to standing. Amazing. We're going to come into a Tadasana, our mountain position, to start working through our sun salutations. So toes together at the front of the mat, heels slightly apart, tucking that tailbone in, shoulders away from the ears, core is nice and strong and activated, and our hands are down by our sides. We're going to inhale, lifting the hands to the sky, looking up, and we're going to exhale and fold from the hips, keeping a nice straight spine, bending the knees if you need to. Then we're going to inhale, looking up halfway, and exhale into a full fold, dropping the hands, and we're going to step both feet back into a plank. This time you can come through your knees, chest and chin like before, or you can leave the knees off the ground, bring the weight forward, send those elbows back and drop into a full chaturanga. And then inhale into your cobra, or at this point you can come into an up dog by drawing the legs off of the ground. Exhale into down dog. We're going to work through that sequence one more time just to get that body really warm. So looking up to the hands, you're going to walk your feet to meet them at the front of the mat. We're going to roll up the spine, coming to standing, and then we're going to inhale, looking up, lifting the hands, exhaling and folding, bending the knees if you need to. Inhale, half lift, looking up, exhale and fold, dropping the hands, stepping back to a plank. We're going to hold the breath here and drop into a chaturanga, and then inhale into your cobra or your up dog, and exhale to down dog. Awesome. Now if at any point you need a rest whilst you're in down dog, you can drop the knees mat width apart, bring the heels together and sit back on them, resting your chest, your chin or your forehead onto the mat into this baby pose. So this is our option if at any point we need to rest. Otherwise, we're going to come back into down dog, and then we're going to start to come into our warrior poses. So we're going to inhale, lifting the right leg to the sky, and we're going to crunch that leg in and drop it in between the hands. From here, you want to drop the back heel, turning the foot out slightly. So finding your positioning here where your heels are in line, getting comfortable, getting your balance. Then we're going to inhale into our warrior one. So we really want to peel the hips so that they're facing the front here. And you should be able to see your big toe at the front of the mat here. So your knee is turning outwards rather than in. So feel yourself powerful and strong here in this warrior position. We're going to inhale and exhale. And then we're going to start to turn that back foot out. So our body is turning parallel, facing you. You should still be able to see the big toe at the front, really bending into that front leg. And then we're going to open up our arms into our warrior two, so that just check they're even. And your gaze, your dristi, is looking to the right hand here. From here, we're going to come into our humble warrior. So to do this, we're going to drop the left hand down the left leg, inhaling the right arm up and over, stretching through the side body into our humble warrior. We're going to make this a flow by windmilling the hands down, dropping the right elbow onto the knee, and inhaling the left arm up and over into our extended side angle. So we really want to open through the chest here, looking up to the ceiling if you can. So let's continue this flow, windmilling back into a humble warrior, and then windmilling into the side angle. Flowing into humble, and flowing back to side angle. Coming back into our warrior 2 with our hands extended. We're going to turn that foot back in to our warrior 1. And then we're going to drop the hands to either side of the foot, stepping back to a plank, and then coming through a vinyasa with our chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, and exhaling into down dog. That was awesome. Now we have to do it on the other side, unfortunately. So inhaling left leg to the sky. We're going to crunch it in and drop it in between the hands. Coming into this lunge. We want to place our back heel down so we can come into our warrior 1. So just finding your positioning and your balance. Inhaling into warrior 1. Don't worry if you have the wobbles, but just try and figure out the foot positioning that helps you balance the most. Breathing in our warrior 1, feeling that strength through our body. We're going to turn out through the back foot, and we're going to open up the hands to an equal level, coming into our warrior 2. Dristi, as in your gaze, is going to the middle finger of the left hand. Breathing here in warrior 2, feeling powerful, and just taking a second to tell yourself that you can get through this practice. You're probably much stronger than you realize or you give yourself credit for. Amazing. So now we're going to flow into a humble warrior. So we're dropping right hand down the leg, left comes up and over, stretching through the side body. We're going to windmill the hands, dropping the elbow onto the knee, coming into our extended side angle. Let's flow, coming into humble. And exhaling into side angle. Keeping that chest nice and open. Inhale into humble warrior. Exhale into side angle. And then inhaling back into warrior 2. Feeling strong, feeling powerful. Turning that foot in again to come back to warrior 1. Bending through the front leg. And then we're going to drop the hands to either side of the foot, stepping back to a nice strong plank, coming through our chaturanga, inhaling into cobra or up dog, and exhaling into down dog. Amazing. Take a pedal here, remembering that you can come down to child pose at any point if you need a rest. We're going to inhale the right leg up again, crunching it in and dropping it in between the hands once again. This time, we're dropping into our warrior 1, inhaling into a strong warrior 1 position, and then we're going to straight away come into our warrior 2, keeping that bend through the knee. This time we're going to extend the right leg so it straightens out. Then I want you to imagine that you're being pulled by the right hand, so the upper body is being pulled over to the right. From here, you're going to drop the right hand down to the right shin, and opening up through the chest, Left hand comes straight up above you. You're dropping into this triangle position. The reason it's called this is because obviously you're making a triangle with your legs, as well as a triangle here between your arm and your right leg. So the aim of this pose is to really open through the chest, almost as if you're so straight you could just fit between two panes of glass. One more inhale, let it all go on the exhale, and then we're going to use that core to bring ourselves back up nice and strong. Awesome. We're going to turn both of our feet in here, maybe even slightly inwards with the heels coming kind of further apart. We really want our balance here. You want your legs to be about as wide as the width of your arm span, because we're going to do a wide leg forward fold here. So keeping the hands on the hips for now, we're going to inhale, extend the body, maybe even coming into slight back bend and looking up. And as you exhale, you're going to fold from the hips, keeping the legs straight, bringing the weight forward and dropping the head towards the ground. You can place the hands on the mat in front of you. If you can place them directly underneath you in line with your feet. And then on every inhale, you really want to extend the spine. And on the exhale, you're just folding forward. Just coming as far as is comfortable for you, not pushing yourself. If you can rest your head on the mat, you can use that as an extra support. And then you really want to work on kind of getting that head as close to the level of the feet as you can. Deep breaths here, sending that exhale to any areas of discomfort, just knowing that you can get through it. It's only temporary. Okay, we're going to walk ourselves back up, inhaling to come all the way back up, keeping the hands on the hips. Now we're going to turn our feet outwards. So from here we're going to sink into those knees, opening up the hips with our hands. You can push those knees open. We're coming into our goddess pose here, another powerful, empowering pose. Once you've got your balance and you feel like your hips are open, you can play around with sinking that bum even deeper if that's comfortable for you. We're just going to place our hands in the heart center here, testing our balance, feeling those legs really working. Spine is nice and straight. Okay, I bet you're getting tired now, so let's inhale, releasing those legs. We're going to windmill the hands all the way around, bending into the right leg, dropping the hands to either side of the foot. Now you can either go through a vinyasa like we have been doing, or you can go straight to down dog here. So if you're coming through a vinyasa, you step back to plank, chaturanga, inhale to up dog, and exhale to down dog. Feel free to drop into this child's pose at this point if necessary. It's a good thing to be able to give your body rest when it needs it, and just be able to recognize that feeling. So, other side now. We're going to inhale, left leg up, crunch it in and drop it in between the hands, placing that back heel down, and then inhaling into our warrior one. Let's come into warrior two straight away. So turning out the back foot, opening up those hands, feeling that strong position. Amazing. So we're going to extend that left leg, so it's nice and straight, creating that triangle in between our legs. Pull the left hand forward and then drop it down to the shin, opening up through the chest, extending right arm up to the ceiling. If you feel any pressure in your knees, you can keep a slight bend in them. We don't want to be injuring ourselves, so you really need to be conscious of how your body is feeling. So now using your core, you're going to pull yourself back up, and we're going to start to turn both of our feet, maybe pointing them slightly inwards, just to get that balance and that security, remembering that they are as wide as the span of our arms. Hands on the hips, you're going to inhale, lifting the chest, maybe looking up. And then you're going to exhale and fold from the hips, keeping your spine nice and long. Bring the hands down and the weight forward. Drop the head if you can. I'm sure this is a great view for you guys. I'm sorry about that. Remembering that equal breath, inhaling and exhaling. It is harder to take deep breaths when you're folded, but it's a great practice because you can use that exhale to kind of get through any discomfort, which you know is temporary and beneficial for you in the long run. Just breathing through it. Let's inhale and come back up. And we're going to turn the feet out, sinking into those hips, coming into our goddess, playing around with your balance, and then bringing the hands into the heart center when you're ready, seeing if you can sink that a little bit lower, feeling strong, feeling empowered in this goddess pose. This pose makes me feel like I can do anything because it's really hard. Amazing. Coming back up, we're going to windmill the hands over, dropping them to frame the left foot, coming into that lunge, coming through a vinyasa or straight to down dog. And we're all meeting in down dog. Awesome. Remembering that you can drop into your child's pose to rest if you need to at any point. Now let's inhale, right leg to the sky. We're going to crunch it in. We're going to drop it in between the hands once again, but this time we're staying in this high lunge, so we're going to leave the heel off of the ground. We're going to inhale into our high lunge. You want a really nice, strong, straight leg at the back here. Feeling nice and powerful and stable. And once you've got your balance, we're going to play around with bring the weight onto the front foot. Once you've done that and you're feeling balanced, you can start to draw the body down and the leg up. They're kind of coming into line, making a nice long line with your body. You can stay bent through the standing leg if you need to. So this is our warrior 3. It's kind of the most complicated, difficult warrior pose out of the sequence. If you are balanced, you can send your hands behind you, or as an extra challenge, above your head, hugging them to your ears. Embracing the wobbles, falling if you need to, and then just coming back into it. Drop that leg back, coming back into our high lunge, giving your glute a well-needed rest. And we're going to try something a bit challenging. Remember that eagle arm pose that we did at the start, where we stretch out the back of our shoulders? We're going to come into the full version of this. So I'll show you this from the front. From our high lunge, we're bringing the weight into the front leg again, but we're going to bring that knee into the chest and give it a bit of a hug. From here, we're going to stack the knees on top of each other, left leg on top of right, and then we're going to squat into the standing leg, bending into it. Once you can do that, you can sort of hook the left foot around the back of the right calf. And then remembering you can squat even lower to get into this position if you need to. Once you've got your balance, you can stay here, or you can bring the eagle arms into it as well for a full eagle position. So let's bring the left arm above the right, twist at the elbows, bring the palms to meet in the middle, into our full eagle. You can squat even lower if you need, challenging your glutes, feeling the shakes and the wobbles. And then we're going to release. We're going to step back into a lunge, frame the front foot, step back to a plank, and you can either come straight into your down dog or come through your vinyasa and meet there. Giving your legs good rest. Time for the other side. We're going to inhale, left leg up, crunch it in, drop it in between the hands, and inhale into that high lunge once you've got your balance. Play around with your footing if you're slightly wobbly. We're going to bring the weight into that front foot, starting to lift the back leg. Keep a bend in the standing leg if you need to. And then keeping those hips parallel to the ground, we're extending through the body, creating a nice long line. Playing around with the hands. And then dropping back into that high lunge. Resting for a minute. And then we're going to try that eagle on the other side. So bringing the weight forward, knee up to the chest, giving it a bit of a hug. You're going to bring the right leg over the left, and then squatting into that left leg, you're twisting the right foot around the back of the left calf. If you're happy and you're balanced, we're going to bring right arm over left, twisting at the elbows, coming to a full eagle. So stepping back into your lunge. Oops. Let's just remember that balance comes and goes. Some days it's a lot easier than others. So just be patient with yourself. Don't hold on to any expectations from the last time you did something. Let's drop our hands to frame the foot, step back to a plank, and then we can all meet in down dog, whether that's through a vinyasa or going straight there. So I'm going to bring everyone into a child's pose now. So let's drop our knees to mat width apart, feet together, sinking back onto the hips, and then dropping either the chin or the forehead to the mat. Take some deep, restful breaths here, letting go of all the tension. It's well deserved. The hardest part is over now. It's time to reward our bodies for getting us through that practice. So take as many deep breaths as you need here, but when you're ready, walk yourself back up. Find your way onto your bum. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together again, opening up those hips, coming back into Baddha Konasana. Spine nice and straight and long. Take a couple of grounding breaths here. Awesome. So remember what we did at the start. We're going to take a hold of our toes, lean back slightly, draw the feet off the ground, coming into our boat. From here you can bring the core in, letting go of the feet. We can start to extend those legs out, although it will be harder now that we've worked our muscles. It might be shaky, but that's okay. And then from here, I want you to lower yourself all the way to lying down, nice and gracefully, not like me. And we're just going to do a few final poses before we come into our resting posture at the end. So let's bring our feet to just under our bums, hip width apart, plant the hands beside them. We're going to start to peel the hips off the ground. And once we've created the space, we're walking the shoulder blades underneath each other. That should push your chest into the air. And then once there's space underneath you, you can make one fist with your hands, using that floor to push the hips even higher up into your bridge, really planting your chin into your chest here. You should be able to see your ribs rising and falling with every breath. Exhale and roll down the spine to come back down. We're going to come into our shoulder stand now. So if you've not done this pose before and you're watching me demonstrate, then come into the pose afterwards, because I don't want you to move your neck once you're in the pose. You want to keep it planted in place. So we're going to lift our hips off the ground, catching them with the hands. And we're going to start to walk those shoulder blades underneath each other again. So there's no contact with the neck on the floor here. It's all in the shoulders and the head. Once we're here, you're going to start to walk your hands up the ribs so that the chest meets the chin, and you can push your pelvis forward to create a nice straight line. If you feel really stable, you can play around with an unsupported shoulder stand. But if you're a beginner, let's keep those hands on the ribs. We're going to really slowly roll down the spine. Coming back to lying down. We're going to extend our right leg out, bring the left knee into the chest and give it a bit of a hug. And then using your right hand, I just want you to draw the knee across the body towards the floor, using the hand to kind of weigh the knee down. And then if you're comfortable, you can look over to the left hand, really relaxing into this lower body twist. Inhale to come back up. Let's swap legs, hugging the right knee in. And then we're going to use the left to draw the knee across the body. Looking over to the right hand if you're comfortable. And just using this moment to allow our breaths to just return to its natural rhythm. Coming back to center. I want you to find your final resting pose, extending all your limbs, creating space between the legs and the arms and the ribs. Making any last minute adjustments or stretches that your body feels it needs. Just getting really comfortable. Just close down the eyes. Let the breath just feel natural and soft. Let's draw the focus into that space between our brows, where we often hold a lot of tension. If there's tension there, just soften. Allow it to release, kind of melt away. And with that, soften through your whole face and send that melting feeling through the whole body, relaxing each muscle. Now I want you to take this moment to just really thank your body for everything it allowed you to do. It's quite amazing really how much we can do with our bodies. With a bit of determination, we can surprise ourselves sometimes. But also just let go of any negative anxieties or worries about your body and the things that you feel you can't do, because they really don't matter. We should be celebrating all those little successes that we have with our bodies. And just feeling grateful to ourselves for dedicating this time to our well-being, to building our strength and our fitness. This is a moment to just feel proud of yourself. You deserve it. So you can stay here in Shavasana as long as you like, just resting and softening through your muscles. But once you're ready, you can bring the knees into the chest, giving them a big hug and rocking side to side, massaging out the spine. And find your way over to a nice comfortable seated position. Taking a minute to kind of rebalance, adjust to the light. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this practice. You did amazingly. I hope to see you again soon in one of my future classes. Namaste.